Hello, gamers, and welcome back to this current campaign in Conflict of Nations, where I am focusing on armor, and my intention is not to build planes and actually not to build tanks either. We'll see. You have to be flexible, which is actually one of the things I want to talk about, because in some games, in some campaigns in this game and in some games, you can kind of set out your own strategy and your own plan. And you can say, all right, I'm going to take over this country, and then I'm going to take over that country, and I'm going to go here, and that's what I'm going to do. And other times, you just can't. Other times, you wind up having to change your plans and your goals essentially constantly. I've had to do that every day in this campaign. We're in day 7. I've had to do that every day in this campaign. So, starting out, as you know, in my first video in this campaign, I said I was going to take the Netherlands. And it's still there. And I said I was going to take Prague, and I did that today. It was day 6. It was today for me, but in the game it was day 6, I think. I took over Prague in day 6. Denmark, that was one I was going to do. It's still sitting there. And that's because, well, as you know, first day, I'm attacked by Poland. My priorities had to shift. And then, as I'm finishing up Poland, I think I'm going to finish up Poland and clear all this area, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to do the things that I said I was going to do. Well, it turns out I can't do that either, because then Ukraine gets involved, and I have to fight with Ukraine. And then there's Austria, as you know, all this stuff, and you're constantly having to shift your priorities. Well, in the last game, I told you that my priorities were I was going to clear up Austria, which I've almost done. And then I was going to come back over here to this big red. Oh, wait a minute, there's some green over here now. And that's not my green. That's not the nice light green that says it's mine. That's dark green that says it belongs to someone else, and I'm at peace with them. And that is because I, at least temporarily, have made peace with Egypt. Egypt asked to make peace with me. And I'm not entirely sure why, but it's very interesting. I can tell you why it's interesting. And it's interesting, well, actually because of this. Because of this little UAV that's flying around looking at my capital, Leipzig. Now, this is coming from Serbia, which is right here. Now, if we look here, there's Germany, which is number 1, with player Hemorrhoid Pain. Another way of saying strategy game butt kicker is to say Hemorrhoid Pain. So, number 2 here is Serbia. And look at the coalition Serbia is in. It has the flag with a little firing warship. And we look down here at Egypt. Ooh, Egypt and Serbia are in the same coalition. Now, I tell you why I made peace with Egypt. I was originally just going to come up here, and I made some troops some equipment to go take care of that little convoy Egypt had running around and take those cities back. And finally, this area that I worked so hard on and that I had taken pieces of would be mine. But I got a request today for peace. He'd actually started fighting with this little convoy I have here, which is now smaller. It's been damaged by his convoy, and now it's taking out this rogue state guy, and it's taken some damage. So now he had started fighting with this little convoy and asked me mysteriously for peace. He wanted peace, and at the same time, I start getting this flying around. Also, in addition to Serbia flying this UAV over Leipzig, they also did some sabotage work. They sent an agent to sabotage Leipzig. So what they're doing is interesting, because I'm not sure exactly what their plan is. And this is very similar to a situation that we had in the last game that we played together, in which I was surrounded by the one big coalition, and then one of the members, Morocco, started flying a UAV around my border. And I told you at the time, either that was fear, he was checking to see if I had a troop build up to attack him, or He was looking for a weak spot to attack himself. As it turns out, I think it was... Ooh, and I just lost my recon vehicle, but I knew that was going to happen. As it turns out, I think it was because of fear. I think he was afraid he was going to be attacked, and he didn't want to be attacked. So he was looking to see if there was a buildup. In fact, by doing that, by taking passive-aggressive, in this case, see, this is passive-aggressive action, sending an agent to break your stuff is even more aggressive. By doing these things, you make a target of yourself. I wasn't paying any attention to Serbia. Yes, I had noticed that Serbia had gotten to be number 2. That doesn't really matter. I had noticed that Serbia had gotten this stuff, and it was very likely that I was going to be taking the stuff back from Serbia in the future. But that's, you look at a lot of these countries, and I'm probably eventually going to wind up at war with a lot of countries that are around me right now, or the countries that are going to take over the countries that are around me right now. So I wasn't really paying that much attention to Serbia at the time, until Serbia said, hey, look at me. And now I have a buildup going on near his country because I have to look at him. I have to pay attention now. I didn't want to. I wasn't intending to. But now I have to. Now it becomes necessary for me to pay attention to what Serbia is doing. And Serbia is about to have war because of it. I did not want to give Serbia war, but Serbia is demanding it. So that's... there are two kind of important skills that you can have, general skills, and they apply to every strategy game. One is flexibility, the ability to change what you were going to do based on situations. And the other is the ability to deal with fear. Because, especially when you first start out in a strategy game, in which you're playing against other players, it's not so bad when you're just playing against the game. But when you're playing against other players, it's a little scary. It really honestly is. And players have a number of ways they typically deal with that. One way is to turtle up. To say, all right, I'm just going to build troops and build troops and build troops. And maybe once I have all my cities perfectly defended, I'll start to expand. Once I know that nobody can get any of my cities, I'm just going to build. Which, by the way, is not a way to win in any real strategy game. I don't know of any turtle-based strategy game. Maybe there should be one. But that is a reaction to fear and not actually a way to win the game. You do not win any of these games by just having a bunch of troops that defend your cities. You will eventually be taken over, and even if you're not, even if you make yourself completely impenetrable, you're still not going to win because you're not expanding. You're just defending the little bit you already have. But these things are also... Oh yeah, and another strategy is to not use a strategy at all and just do stupid stuff and attract unnecessary attention to yourself. Cause yourself to be attacked. That's what Serbia is doing right now. Serbia is causing himself to be attacked. And Morocco, in the last game, caused himself to be attacked by doing stupid stuff like this, by attracting attention to himself when it doesn't have to be the case. And even if you're planning on attacking somebody, if you're planning on starting a war, doing this stuff first is dumb. Because now you're drawing attention to yourself. You no longer have the effect of surprise. They're looking at you saying, what are you doing here? When you want them to just be paying attention to somebody else so you can sneak in the back door and they never even knew you were coming until you're sitting in their living room eating a sandwich or something. So you will be seeing in the days ahead, you'll be seeing a war with Serbia, an inevitable war with Serbia in which I will be taking over all this beautiful land. And yes, eventually I will get around to finishing up this stuff. I also just need to build some troops. I just need to make more stuff. I have cities. I've lost some troops. Like I just lost my recon vehicle over here. So I've lost some. I have some weak ones. I have a lot of cities that just need some time to calm down and get used to being part of Germany. So I have that to deal with. I'm going to be taking Strasbourg soon. I'm using this artillery because this little guy has 0.1 HP. He's as close to death as you can be and not be dead. So I'm going to try to just use my artillery to completely take this guy out and then move in and take Strasbourg. Hopefully nobody else, hopefully whoever, UK won't jump in and take Strasbourg once I've killed that little guy. But so I have these cities that I need to sit on for a little bit. And I also need to build up a few more troops so that I'm more ready for a war. But that will be coming, and we still have all this left to do, and all this left to do. And then we're really just getting started because it's still only day 7, and we have probably 3-4 weeks left in this campaign before it's all over. It will probably get less interesting as it gets near the end, because like the other games, I will just kind of leave everybody in the dust, and whatever. But right now it's tense and interesting, and I really could not have asked for a better campaign to make videos about. So thank you for stopping by and spending this time with me. I hope you will come back. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Feel free to comment. I love comments. We can even talk about your campaign, or if you're thinking about playing, you can tell me and I can encourage you to take up this or some other strategy game. And like and share and all that stuff, because I think I have a pretty cool channel here and I would really like to get more circulation for it. So thanks again, and I will see you tomorrow.